Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Boston Celtics acquired the very explosive offensive talent of Anfernee Simons last night, and I wanted an excuse to watch some film. So let's get right to it. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And of course, as a lot of you guys may know, the Boston Celtics have acquired Anfernee Simons for Drew Holiday from the Portland Trailblazers. And if you want to see my thoughts on that trade, I did a live video and a regular video. Those are on my channel. I could put those somewhere where you can click on them after this video. But here we are looking at Anfernee Simons, and the Celtics usually trade for players that do really well against them. And in this game in TD Garden, the Celtics won this game, but Anfernee Simons had 30 points on, I think, 13 for 21 shooting. But he was really good in this game. And Anfernee Simons is a really explosive scorer. He averaged 19 points last season, 2.7 rebounds on 5 assists. On 36% from 3, 8.5 attempts. So this is one of the best shooters with volume in the NBA. He shot 50% from 2 last season, 61% at the rim. He's a really explosive, athletic guard, can get downhill and finish over bigger players and shot blockers. Here you see him. He's a really smooth player. So here they go to horns action. They get a ghost screen for him. He comes off the flare, and then they get into a dribble handoff with him and Klingon. In this game specifically, I watched this game against us and a Pistons game where he scored 36. The Pistons are a team that the Celtics will be seeing most likely in the playoffs for seasons to come, and they also have Asar Thompson who was on him. So I thought that was a good test, and he fried them. So the Blazers didn't run too many actions for him. They literally would just like set a screen for him and say do something with ball, and he's good at doing things with the basketball. So but here they do run a set play for him, and he's able to get in the mid-range area with a good screen. Well, not a good screen, but with Klingon just being in the way, gets Derek White trailing, and he's really good at snaking screens. He's really good at putting defenders in jail and getting to his mid-range, as he shot 47% from there last season. And he is just a really smooth, silky isolation scorer. He has the handle to get past people. He has the handle to set people up for these threes. And I've said this a couple times in the videos I've had I've done of the trade already. With Tatum out, I believe this is a really good offensive bet for the Celtics, right? You get Simons, who is a solidified 20.5 assist guy, right? The Joe Mazzulla system it relies heavily on the three-point attempts, especially the above the break attempts by Jason Tatum. So the pull-ups, right? I personally don't like Tatum shooting 10, 11 threes per game, but I understand what it does for the Celtics, right? And on those high pick and rolls where he's doing those pull-ups and he's bringing the opposing big up to the level, and if they don't come up to level, he's going to take those threes, and then he's able to do the pump fakes and drive right past them for easy stuff. Anfernee Simons attempts 7.5 above the break threes per game last season. So some of the stuff that we get with Tatum from just strictly above the break 3-point shot variety, Anfernee Simons can give us some of that while he's out. And here against Jordan Walsh, who's a good defender, he just steps back. And a real theme I saw in these two games that I watched, again, this game and the Pistons game, he punishes switches. Big men on switches, they don't have a chance against him. Here he drives past Al Horford, punctures the paint, and collapses the defense and sprays it out to Jabari Walker for 3. And here we have another play where the Blazers just set one screen and tell him to do something with ball. He gets Al Horford, and he just goes right past Al Horford and a nice left hook finish in the lane. So as far as playmaking, he did average just under 5 assists last season. He did average about 5 assists the previous season. He's a solid playmaker. Like, he's not a guy that's gonna wow you with his vision and his passes. He'll have flashes here and there because he can pass the basketball, but this is a guy that you can rely on in a pick and roll to score and pray for others. But mostly he's gonna be doing a lot of his great stuff when he's creating for himself. He can pass the ball. He's a solid playmaker. He's not somebody that's gonna wow you. He does have flashes, and he'll have a 10 assist game and 11 assist game, but they're not like who he is, right? He's a scorer, but he can play make for his teammates. All right, so the Blazers are gonna run slob, chin, screener, screener. Slob is just sidelines out of bounds plays. Chin action is when you have a back screen on the wing, so you pass the ball to the opposite wing. And then you're gonna have this back screen on the wing right here for Anfernee Avdia. The point of this, usually when the Celtics run this play, is to get Tatum easy post position or a switch, or for him to get a layup if this screen is so good and they don't switch it. But this is for Anfernee Simons. This is the screener action, so he screens for Avdia, then he gets the pin down screen from too many cameras. He gets the ball, and then again in the pick and roll, he is super smooth. He plays at his own pace in the pick and roll. He's able to snake, get the defender in jail, and get to his spots. And we saw this on display a couple times against Al Horford, but it's different when you can do it against Derek White. His first step is super quick, and it catches Derek White off guard, and it gets into the lane with a nice floater. And here you see that first step on display, the quickness and the explode quick out of the corner, right? Catches the ball, zoom, he's gone, and explosiveness at the rim. The most used action I saw in these two games was blind pig action. For anybody that does not know, blind pig is a type of dribble handoff under a denying or high playing defender. So you see that Anfernee Simons, as Jabari Walker walks over to him, you see how Derek White is trying to play him super high. He has him by half court. We can't even see him in the frame right now. So what that means is you can't get the ball to this guy. Somebody flashes up under their defender and they get into a dribble handoff right here. We'll have two better examples of this in the Pistons game, but it just gets that guy going, and it usually causes a switch because they don't expect the dribble handoff to happen, and they can't get back in time to recover because they were just denying that guy. But Anfernee Simons, again, punishing switches. Kata can really move his feet as a big man, but Anfernee Simons in and out right there, gets past and finishes over the outstretched arms of Walsh. And one of his favorite moves I noticed is this pound dribble step back three. He does it so often with this move and the snake dribble / crab dribble into the mid-range. Those two moves are things that he has damn near perfected, and he does it so often, and here with the 3 against Pritchard. And sometimes in the pick and roll, just looks like he's just gliding with the basketball, but again, just playing at his own pace, being really smooth with it. Gets the switch on Al Horford, they back up, he knocks it down. And he has some really crafty finishes in these two games here. Sam Hauser plays pretty good defense, but he's able to keep going and get the right hand scoop reverse to go. All right, before we go to the Pistons game, it would be unreal of me to give a full report on Simons and talk about his defense. He is the opposite of Drew Holiday on this end. He is bad on this end and will be hunted and probably taken advantage of solely because of his thin frame. And based on his athleticism and his long arms, he's an underwhelming on-ball defender. But we have seen players go to better cultures and become better on defense. And we've seen defensive improvements from a guy like Sam Hauser, who literally could not play on the defense side of the ball, but then improved, and then he became a good role player for us, even though he's a wing. But Simons does have the tools to be better on this end with his athleticism and his long arms, and the C's have the infrastructure to help him. Out here in this Pistons game, the primary defender on him was Asar Thompson, so I knew this was going to be a tough night, but he ended up having 34 points on 63% true shooting. And again, he's able to create off the ball, well, not really a ball screen because Asar just stayed right there, but he's able to get a floater up and over Asar. And again, he's just so quick, that quick first step right there, the tween, but then he gets downhill, accelerates, gets the and one over Beef Stew. And he makes some really tough shots. And again, this is the plays that I was talking about with Tatum, right? Where Tatum gets a high ball screen, and if this defender is not up to the level, Tatum can just rise up over guys. Now, Tatum's 6'8", 6'9". Anfernee Simons is 6'3". He sees Malik Beasley give him space. He just rises right over top of the tall defender and buries it. And again, just a silky smooth player in the pick and roll. Gets a screen from Klingon, gets right to a spot. The elbow rises up, knocks it down. And again, we see more blind pick action. Asar Thompson is one of the quickest defenders in the NBA. If this pass goes here, he's probably taking this and he's dunking the ball the other way. So we pass it to a guy under the denied defender. They get into a dribble handoff. And Anfernee, even though Asar Thompson just slips right through these screens, he's able to self-create against Asar Thompson, to tween the in and out, gets his mid-range fadeaway going again. All right, so we got blind pick action again. Jalen Duren does not expect it. He's not up to the level, and it's a trade ball. All right, so here they screen to get Beef Stew onto Anfernee Simons. Again, taking advantage of the big man. That pound dribble step back knocks it down. And his shot is like a natural fade-in shot, but he kind of just fades naturally with his shot, and it allows him to get space over tall defenders when he shoots the ball. But then comes right back after hitting that three, gets a steal, is able to drive on Cade Cunningham and get a layup. And it's so hard to find guys who can average 20 on just like pure unassisted stuff. Like everything that he does is self-creation on this team. So with the Celtics, like playing with guys like Derek White, playing with guys like Jaylen Brown, who will take the attention off of him. And Like Asar Thompson was checking him. If the Celtics played Asar Thompson with Anfernee Simons, Asar will probably be on Jaylen Brown, which means that Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr. or even Cade will be his primary defender. So he will get a lot more catch and shoot opportunities. I think he can be really good in that aspect, and it just will unlock hopefully it'll unlock a different level of efficiency in his game, that he does not have to do everything by himself, and he's not just getting a screen and being told to do something with ball, but he's able to do things with ball. And here he gets an and one floater over Fontecchio. Here he puts pressure on the defense really early in the shot clock, punches the paint, gets Ron Holland, relocates, and that trigger is really quick if he sees open space. All right, here we got some good action between him and Klingen. He passed the ball for the sole purpose of getting it right back and getting to a dribble handoff. Here again, we see him in the mid-range. If the defender is trailing him, he's gonna take his time, he's gonna play at his own pace, and he's gonna snake and crab that defender and get into that mid-range fadeaway. And here we got a good screen by Tumani negating the 94 feet pressure. He puts his body into Dennis Schroeder and finishes over two guys. And we've seen this a couple times. Even though he has a thin frame, when guys get up into his drives, into his body, he's able to hold his line and keep his shoulder square and then finish over multiple people. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in there when you can. Just out there a little bit more, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.